So now, as you can see, I've shared my browser. You should be able to see my screen, and you should recognize by now we're going to spend the next 25 minutes looking at the exactly where you're supposed to be today with respect to the course, and then really to address any burning questions for the 9% of you who are lost or confused, to try to lift the fog for you. And again, if you need to go and you feel comfortable already in Scholar, then yes, by all means, you're free to go. But if you feel like you need support, or whether or not you have a burning question or just want to make sure that you're doing okay, you're welcome to stay, and I'll be staying until past in order to give you additional level of support. So let me just ask to see if there are any burning questions. And I know Rizwana is one of the people who has been struggling with account registration and exactly where to go and where to find the information that's needed. So yes, all right. So let's go to Khalid Abubakar Aiza. Yes, Khalid. What is your question or the problem that you're facing? Okay, this has happened before, I think. Yes, so let me go to Abebe. Abebe Kasahuna fe work. Hello, are you able to hear? And what is the problem? Yes, Abebe, good. Good to hear your voice. How are you doing, sir? And what is your question for this technical support session?
Thank you. My main question is, how can I meet my assignment to present on the next discussion in advance, like our presenters today?
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? So let's see, Mohammed Jama. Yes. So I'll be answering that question in the walkthrough. I'll be doing once we've checked into some of the questions. So Mohammed Jama, you also need to unmute yourself. I see you have your hand raised. So I'm assuming that's because you have a question or a burning issue that you'd like help with. Go ahead, Mohammed. Okay, it sounds like... Okay, so please do not raise your hand unless you actually need support. And Caroline, please go ahead.
Yeah, can you want? Hello?
Yes, Caroline, go ahead. We can hear you loud and clear.
Yes, I just wanted to find out for the next assignments, just a bit more clarity on how to use the creator.
Okay, I'll be covering that as well. Thank you for that question. And then Mohammed, so we have two Mohammeds in this session. Mohammed Kulufara, I've unmuted you. You'll need to unmute yourself as well in order to speak and ask your question or share the problem you're having. Okay, it seems like you've gone. Okay, Rizwana, and we've heard from you, so I think your concerns will be addressed by the walkthrough. So Sebastian, go ahead if you'd like to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we'll just dive in, and I'll be keeping an eye on the. Yes, Sebastian.
Yeah, hello, Radar. Hello.
Yes, go ahead, Sebastian. We hear you loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much. So I've been having challenges connecting to this. So this is my first time, and I see that I'm not able to complete my onboarding yet because I'm not able to log on to Scholar, and I can't contribute to assignments or group discussions. But today the audio has been great, so I've been able to hear all the discussions going on. So I don't know if you can take me through that so that I can actually be able to go into Scholar or to go into community and then make some posts and respond to other people's contributions as well.
Okay, so yeah, I can do even better than that. I'm sharing Dr. Kade's WhatsApp, and you can reach out to him and he'll do the one-on-one support if you don't get what you need from this session. All right.
Right.
So
Right.
I think some of you may be late joiners who have not yet gone through the onboarding instructions that you're seeing on screen now. So there are 5 steps, and then there are sub-steps within each of the 5 steps, and you do need to complete all of them. So we're still getting questions about, what is Scholar, or how do I sign up for the Tuesday discussion group, or and those questions are answered here, and I can tell that some of your colleagues who've been diligent in carefully following instructions and getting their tasks done may be a bit frustrated with these recurring questions that if you follow the instructions, you will find the answers, and if you need help, help is available, but do keep in mind that some of your colleagues have worked this out for themselves. It's okay if you need support. You may want to contact Hannah privately if it is a question related to onboarding. So I'm just going to show you the page, and again, this question of how you register in Scholar, that some of you seem to be stuck on. There are some steps. The most important advice is actually right here. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. So that we recommend that you write down the name, surname, and username that you used, as well as the email and the password. So that's 5 pieces of information. If you're missing one of them, you won't be able to log in again, and then you'll run into trouble. You also need to check in your inbox that that the confirmation mail to activate your account has arrived, and click on the link once you found it. This is all explained in great detail in these tutorials. This one, for example, on creating your account is 3 minutes and 16 seconds. So take 3 minutes of 16 seconds to watch the video, and in many cases that will save you from hours of problems having to connect with Hannah for individual one-on-one support, or staying around for 30 minutes for this session. Yes, so I do encourage you, when you see a video tutorial, to look at the tutorials. And I do see the message from Khalid Abu Bakr Aizer, and I apologize because I did not see your name. That was a mistake on my part. So we'll make sure that you are the first presenter in next week's session. Apologies for that. We do try to be fair. We ask that you put in the effort, and so many of you have already. So again, to go back to this onboarding business, it's all here. You just need to follow the steps. Again, if you do need help, reach out to the WhatsApp number, which is Hannah is really standing by. If he doesn't reply right away, he will, and follow up. Yeah. So for Joseph, yes, you're all muted in order, because so many of you have background noise. And let's hear from you, Joseph. What is your question or concern? How can I help, and how are you doing? Yes, hi Joseph.
I'm doing good.
Loud and clear.
Yeah,
Great,
hello. I'm good. And you too? Hello.
Yes, I'm fine too. Thank you. What is your question or concern?
Yes. In fact, I had network challenge. I joined in late. I wanted to find the process that one requires in order to make a presentation.
Okay, so you joined late, Joseph. Many of your colleagues made the effort to be on time, so I would ask that, out of consideration for them, you go to the community. Within the next day or two, you will find the recording of the session that you were unable to join on time, and you will be able to watch the recording of the session and catch up on its content. Great. Thank you, Joseph. All right. So as you know, this is where it all starts. So if you haven't been here yet, you may want to review the onboarding instructions, and you should have created your account by now. So I'm just going to log in. Just make sure. Yeah, and I'm going to log in with a personal account, not my administrator account. And also about for late joiners or people who haven't, if there are any of you participants who are active, who are up to date, and if you'd like to help them, do reach out to them. You can use the chat window to send them a private message. We encourage that very much, of course. So I am a course participant. I log in and I see my personal profile. I have not added my picture, and as you could see in the PowerPoint in the slide, when I was presenting the slides, the presenters, only a few of them had their picture, and that was unfortunate. So there is a tutorial by which you can add your picture. Here in the left-hand side, you will see the list of communities that you are a member of. So of course, I'm a member of many more communities, and in fact, of so many communities that I don't even see the GRISP WHO strategies course here, so I'm going to have to view all. And now here we go. I can see that I need to accept the invitation. So this is from a previous tutorial, but you should already be a member. So what you should see once you have joined the community is you should see this little icon, and then you click on it, and that takes you to the community. Any questions about this so far? Is anyone lost? If you can let me know in the chat. But I think this should be, yes. Now, by default, the community looks like a mess. You can see many different things happening. You can see comments. You can see people still joining the community. And so there's a lot happening. How do you find what you actually need? That is the question, and how do you find it quickly? So I went through this last week, so some of you may, but there are some new participants, especially late joiners. So I'm going to show you, and I invite you to view the recording. But I know if you're, yeah, so I do invite you to do that. But I will be sharing some new things for week 1. And so here, I'm going to go to updates, because what I want to find are the updates from the course team. And then I'm going to go to filter updates, and I'm going to filter to show all activity from the admins. And as soon as I do that, here in the center window, I can see all of the updates from the course team. So if you're a late joiner, what you're going to want to do is scroll down to the bottom, starting with the honor code. And you just click on each update, read through it, identify, are there action points, that things you need to do, tasks you need to complete, and then you can move on to the next update. So in this one, this is the honor code and the participation guidelines. Really the takeaway is that your work should be your own, and we are sharing community assignments. So everyone is sharing their work with the community. That means you should only view updates from the other participants once you have posted your own. All right, so that's update, the first update. Then you're going to work your way up, and I did this last week, so I'm not going to do it again, but basically each update calls for you to do something, shares a resource, one or more resources that are going to be used in the course, and in many cases includes a welcome message, in this case starting with a welcome message from the original author of the GRISP guideline, Rudy Eggers. So each of these orientation week updates includes a welcome message, and then also includes a tutorial that shows you how to start working in Scholar. So yes, so you go through each update. Each update should take you no more than 30 minutes to complete. But that means that if you did not do your orientation tasks day by day, you now have 5 times 30 minutes to get through all of them. So this is why we have put together a catch-up guide. And if you want just the sort of the executive summary, okay, I'm going to show you where to get that. So first of all, it's available in the materials panel. You'll see week 1 catch-up guide. It's a half-page PDF, and it includes a number of links. So you should follow all those links. I'm going to see if I can show you what this looks like. So let me just see if I can bring it in here. Yeah. So here you have the week 1 catch-up guide. You have the links to the 4 community updates. You have the link to the onboarding instructions. You have the link to view all updates from the course team, and that link you need to save or bookmark or do whatever you do to make sure that happens. And then here you're going to, the deliverables for week 1 actually start with a download and review of the rubric for your creator project, and I'm going to explain what that is exactly and what that looks like. Second deliverable for this week is actually attending this discussion group. So if you're here, you can check that one off. And then if you're not here and listening to the recording, then you do have to complete the catch-up task and confirm that you viewed the recording. And then you have the week 1 community assignments. Now the resources such as this catch-up guide are available in the community shares. So let me go, where are the community shares? Let's look around. So you start with a left-hand column. You can see send a message. This actually sends a message to the entire course team. So you only want to use this if you're sending a private request or comment. In most cases, you're actually going to want to use the comments in the community to share your comments with everyone. Whoops, let me just, wait. Yeah. So this shows you the members in the community, shows you the keywords linked to the community. On the right-hand side, you have some interesting stuff. You have recent activity. So this shows you everything that has happened recently in the community. So you can use that to sort of catch up with what people are doing in the community. This is different from actually looking at what the course team has sent your way. So if you're short on time, start by looking at the latest updates from the course team and then move on to the other stuff. Now originally we started out looking for the shares, and guess what? They're right here in that right-hand column. So yeah, what you want to do, you have the latest 4 shares. So you want to click on View All to see all of them. And these have been carefully chosen to actually help you in the course. So the first one you see is the week 1 catch-up guide I mentioned and just showed you. The second one is the actual GRISP activity plan rubric. If you were in the discussion group, you now know what a rubric is. Basically, it's the project assignment. This is what you're going to be doing and working on for 6 weeks, is using that rubric to build your activity plan informed by the GRISP guidelines for your specific country context. So the GRISP prioritization tool and all of these other things here, you will put to use, and they're referenced in different updates. So to go back now to what are your main deliverables, one was to prepare for the week 1 discussion group, and if you're here, you've done that, but you have 2 others for the first week. You want to get to know the rubric for your creator project, so you'll want to download this, and you have some information explaining again what the rubric is. And so to give you a sense, I'm now going to go through that, and hopefully in more detail than I did in the presentation. So here you can see this is a 6-page document. It explains the activity plan development process, and then explains what is a rubric, what's a criterion, and so on. There's some guidance for authors, some guidance on how to get started, and then there's the actual rubric itself. So what you need to do in weeks 2 and 3 of the course is right here, is spelled out here. And then each of these, this is a criterion for general format and presentation. So as you're writing, developing your plan, you can refer back to this and ask yourself, well, is my narrative clear, well organized, and concise? Is there anything I can cut out because it's not directly relevant? And then you can also self-evaluate your work. Ask yourself, well, is my format and presentation, where am I? I'd like to have something that's excellent. Where am I in that process? What do I need to do by the deadline to actually make that happen? Then another part of the rubric is to prioritize. So you have your strategies, and you have to summarize the prioritization process through which you selected 3 strategies. And then you have to explain why for each selected strategy it was selected. Yes. And then again, you have a set of ratings that you can use to self-assess at this point, and that you'll use in peer review to actually review the work of others and give your constructive advice and suggestions and recommendations to others. The next part of your activity plan, and what you'll be starting on in week 2, is the activity planning. So actually at the activity level, building a table and and then filling it in with the details of the activity. And last but not least, of course, is the M&E section. So that also will be part of your activity plan. And in the orientation week, we shared with you the structure of a sample activity plan that just to give you a sense of what is the main course project that you are going to be doing. So what will happen on Monday is that you will receive a notification. So you can see I haven't checked into this account for a while, but I have 33. I should probably go in there and look. But on Monday, you will have one notification. Oops, I'm having trouble navigating here. Yeah, so you'll be able to go into notifications and you will find a notification that looks like this. So, which is called a work request. So a work request, actually I should be able to find, okay. This is a work request for another course, which is called the ambulance course. And this, of course, you will get a work request for the GRISP activity plan, and you will find it in notifications, and you'll be able to start your work by clicking on the Start New Work button. Do not click on Use a Work that you have already started, and this will be the first time that you will start working in Creator. So I'm not going to give you, we'll do a much more detailed walkthrough next week, but this is Creator just to introduce this workspace. So this is a space for writing. Yes. This is where you will begin to put together your GRISP work plan. One caveat: one person has already tried to paste complicated formatted text from Word. That will not work. In Creator, we keep things simple. And so that means simple text, and if there are any tables, such as the activity table, you'll want to use the Creator table tool. You will not be able to paste tables or other or graphical elements into Creator from Microsoft Word. So there will be, and we'll explain that in the video tutorials. All right, so that's actually what we'll be doing 6 days from now, when you receive the notification. So here, of course, the description and the other aspects are for the for another course, but you will see the description for the project that you have to build in Creator, and you will be working in Creator up until you submit your project, and then weeks 4 and 5 you'll be actually peer reviewing the project of others in Creator as well. So in addition to seeing your own work, you will be looking at the works of 3 of your peers. It will be anonymous, so it'll be double blind. You won't see the author's name, they won't see your name. Because we interact, because we have this dialogue in the discussion groups, you may be able to recognize people, but they won't know who the feedback is coming from. So we hope that helps you be candid in your feedback and allows you to give better quality feedback. That's the point of it being anonymous. At the end, in the final stage of the course, you'll also be able to tell your reviewers how useful you found their feedback, and so there will be a sort of final feedback loop in which you'll be able to give them feedback. So you'll get to know Creator. We may share the tutorials early, because some of you are already a couple of steps ahead, but basically this is where you will be working for the coming 6 weeks to develop the main project in the course. What you'll do in the community after the week 1 assignments, that's it. You'll have an activity in week 2 in which you comment on the week 1 assignments posted by other people, and then you'll be encouraged to use community for your own needs, but there won't be any additional assignments, and you will really be focusing in Creator on actually putting together your activity plan, then peer reviewing the activity plans of others, and then the final most important week of the course you'll be just synthesizing everything that you've learned and improving, refining, finalizing the activity plan to put together a final version that contains substantive changes reflecting what you're learning in the 6 weeks of the course. So I see there's a fascinating discussion going on the side, and I'm really pleased to see that this discussion is taking place parallel to my walkthrough. So I want to thank you all for your participation. You are a truly exceptional cohort in terms of the level of participation that we are seeing. This is really to your credit. We cannot prescribe this, and despite the mandatory requirements, so we're really pleased to see this and really encourage you to keep in mind that this is a 6-week marathon. So making it through orientation week 1 is one thing, but dealing with the challenges that many of you described so clearly of having to go for field work, of having urgent deliverables that you need to get done, of having perhaps challenges in your personal or family life, that is what you're going to have to just prepare, mitigate, and ultimately succeed in order to complete the course. So that's it. Thank you for your attention and your time, and for the great discussion. We're looking so much to next week's groups, but remember that the conversation really continues in the community, and we'll be following up with all the questions that you shared during the chat, the ones we were not able to get to. Again, thank you very much. Warm greetings from Geneva, Switzerland. I'm now going to unmute the 25 of us who are remaining so that we may make some noise, and look forward to seeing the late joiners, anyone still struggling and actually figuring things out, and just catching up. Use the catch-up guide that's been shared, use the materials, and let us know if there's anything at all we can do to help you. Take care, wishing you a productive week 1.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
Yeah,
See you next week. Well, I hope that within that time I'm able to catch up with all that happens.
All right.
Yeah.
I am sure you will be. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Bye then.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Great. Here, general results were obtained as the first randomized.
Yeah.